How do I get one of those jackets?
Oh, man. Oh, man, I love them. Look at this. 3 years in a row, baby.
So maybe, I think for those that don't know Drex and Mullah, which I'm sure there's very, very few here, but maybe you can tell us about yourselves and what you do.
I'm Mullah Mugzie, filmmaker, creator, photographer, and a tech enthusiast. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been making content creation for about a year, but I've been filmmaking and a photographer about 6 years. And my journey, I just try and inspire as many people to just go ahead and go for it, because I'm a great example of someone who, I just started this like literally a year ago, and things took off very fast versus my journey. So I just want to inspire people to just go ahead and go for it. A lot can change in 365.
What's up, guys? My name is Drex Lee. Some of you guys may or may not know me. I'm the guy on social media that goes up to the camera and says, boom, before every single one of my videos. If you guys don't know a little bit about my background, I am a filmmaker for the past 14 years. I've been a full-time creator for about 3 years. And then kind of just known for developing kind of like my own style. And as a creator, you guys got to kind of find your own voice, right? And in that sense, is like, for us, is like finding our own vision and our own visual. So as you guys notice, in a lot of my content is the epic one shot. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And yeah, from the Bay Area, actually Stockton, but live in the Bay. But yeah.
So I think if anybody wants a one shot from Drex,
boom,
you know where to go. So let's talk AI then. Obviously, I think this year and last year have been the year of AI. I mean, you can't get away from the topic. How do you apply AI to your own creative work today?
AI is a big part of my workflow, honestly, as a creator, a filmmaker. I use AI a lot for photography. I use it for emails and just making the business side of being a creative a lot easier. We create all the time, constantly we're creating. So the business side of content creation or being an entrepreneur sometimes can get a little cloudy for us as creatives. Usually our strength is being a creative, being an artist. So having AI to help with this process of the business side, the emails, sending pitches. I use AI in my process for business a lot as a creative, as well as, my creative process. What about you, Drex?
Man, AI has been a game changer. It has made the impossible pretty much possible. Some of the things that we've seen in filmmaking, like with AI, it's been crazy, because sometimes, if you guys know about cameras, sometimes when you shoot 30 frames per second, there's no way you could drop down the speed anymore. But with AI, just like you guys see with the instant slow-mo on the Samsung devices, you're shooting in 30 frames, but you're dropping it down to like a 25% speed. And that's AI filling in all the gaps. So stuff like that with AI, especially when it comes down to, using it in your photos or even in like sound production, like you could pretty much become if some of you guys aren't already, basically a full film studio within yourself, because you could use all these tools that could basically shortcut the whole process. Now, not saying that you'll be a pro right away, but it's so much more help and you'll be a lot more pro with it than without it.
I'm fascinated by using AI to help you win business or find business. Mm-hmm. Can you give us some examples of how that works?
Yeah, most definitely. So just a great example, as a content creator, we send pitches a lot. That's a big part of being a content creator. I think people may have a misconception that we just get hit up by brands all day long, every day. And a lot of us getting these brand deals is us pitching these brands. So that's a big part of my process. I'm sure Drex knows that as well, and a lot of creators in the crowd. And that pitching process, it takes a lot of time, because you have to form these emails, you have to find these contacts. And, sometimes, especially as creatives, we don't think in terms of a business and, the corporate world so much. So for an example, I've had emails early on, and I'll look at them now and say, I was just way too casual in my email, right? So I use AI. Now with the Galaxy AI, you can easily, like in your keyboard, you can access it and say you type a whole email. this is literally a process that I use. I'll type a whole email. I'll go to the Galaxy AI, copy everything that I wrote down, and I can change the writing style of what I said. So I can say something very casual and change it to something professional, right? And I use this all the time. I'll send, 10, 20 pitch emails versus 5 just because I'm using this process to help it and make it easier for me. So I think that's a great way right there as, for us, the content creators, to be able to streamline our process. It's like having an assistant.
I want to see the Shakespearean style email.
Yeah, you can definitely make a Shakespeare style email with the Galaxy AI, which I've used before. It's pretty interesting.
So Drex, what do you think about those that may think that using AI, certainly when it comes to photography, is cheating or?
Oh, I think with the evolution of technology has always kind of been that way, right? Like, for writers that come out that write, right? And people started using typewriters like, oh no, that's too easy. That's too easy. You cheating. No, I'm just typing it better. And then what happens then? Writing kind of becomes like thing of the past. Same thing with writing emails, right? I'm writing mails. Nope, I'm typing an email. Okay, you're cheating. There's no fair. You know what I'm saying? So you have to evolve with the times. If you don't evolve with the times, you kind of just get left behind. And that's the last thing you want to do as a creator. You gotta think forward 10 steps ahead, not 10 steps back. You can't think about how I could be ancient, right? You gotta start thinking about how I could be the future. And that's what AI is, right? It's the future. And people that don't want to, connect and adapt to new technologies such as AI, you're just going to be a thing of the past. And then by the time you realize it, it's going to be too late.
So as, I think we've all played with various AI tools. I think personally, I get pretty impatient because I type in a sentence and it doesn't give me what I want. I type in a second sentence, still not quite there, and I give up.
The prompts.
Yes.
Yes.
So any advice on how to actually spend time and make AI work for you, AI tools work for you?
Yeah. When using these AI tools, you want to be as specific as possible with what you're looking for. So, the AI it's a great tool, but it's not smart, right? We're still the brain, and it helps you to get your thoughts out and to help you make your process easier, but it's not going to do the work completely for you, right? So you want to be as specific as possible. You want to say keywords and describe certain things in your prompts. I've always, so far with using AI, the best thing to do is to be super descriptive and specific with what you're looking for sure.
And like he mentioned, it's a tool. At the end of the day, it's a tool. A tool cannot think for you. A tool cannot write for you. What it could do is help you in what you do, right? And in terms of prompting, just play with it. Just have fun with it. Just keep going with it. But at the same time, don't think of it as like, man, I need to get it done. It's not getting it done for me. You got to look at it as like, as a toy. Like, play with it. And then the more you play with it, the more you get better at it. You know what I mean? Like, just keep using your hands and punching it in, and then just see what comes out. And then sometimes it'll amaze you, sometimes it'll piss you off, but it's okay. As long as you keep playing with it, eventually you'll get better with it. As with any tool, right? The more you use your tool, just the more you'll get better at it. Yeah.
Quick. I'm curious, who's using AI today in their workflow? Not many. 20%?
Gotta raise it higher, not like this.
Maybe what's that?
There it is.
40%.
40%. Now,
come.
now I was going to double down on the hands I've seen, because I seen a stat early on, or maybe a few months ago, where it said less than 5% of businesses are utilizing AI right now. Within the next few years, about 99% of businesses will be utilizing AI. So just that stat alone lets you know it's here to stay. It's like the cell phone, right? I'm sure at one point in time, a lot of people didn't believe in the cell phone, and they thought the house phone was here to stay, right? And if you don't have a cell phone today, it's like you're like the 1%, right? So you got to look at it the same way. AI is something that it's inevitable. It's inevitable to use. If you're not using it or learning it now, you'll be left behind. It's like the computer. Also, if you don't know how to work a computer in 2024, it's hard for you out here. It is.
Let's get to some specifics. What are the, let's say, top 3 tools you guys use?
Top 3 tools. One of my favorite tools is especially on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, is the generative edit feature, which I'm a photographer too. Drex knows. Just taking pictures, whether it's just something I'm gonna post on a story or an actual photo I wanna post on a feed. You may get little artifacts or shadows, a lot of different things in your photo that you wanna take out. Before, we would have to pull out our laptop, open a program, make layers, just to get one thing out of a photo. Now you could just circle it and get it out of a photo like this. Shadows as well and reflections. If you have a reflection on a mirror or a window, you can easily take that out of your photo. If there's a shadow, sometimes you'll see a shadow after you take a photo. Even the person taking the photo, you'll see their shadow in your photo holding the phone, right? But now you can easily take that out with the Galaxy AI. So that's how I know I use it. How about you, Drex?
Hey, most definitely, man. As you said, sometimes we have a shadow in it or some random person in the back making some silly faces or just unintentionally, photobombing your photo. Before, we got to like hop on a laptop, pop it, do all this stuff, and then all right, finally got my photo. Now, we just go boop, 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 boom. Okay, I can Instagram ready. So definitely that's one of the tools I actually use like the most, right? Even though if it's not for, my professional stuff, it's definitely for a lot of my personal stuff.
Any recos outside of the Galaxy device? Any recommendations of other tools?
Other tools.
Outside of Galaxy. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Any tools?
Photoshop.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tools that you can use. Definitely Photoshop tools. There's a lot of audio tools that you can use, AI tools that you can use for your audio. And that's a big one too with content creation nowadays. I think the audio really matters. So people invest a lot in microphones, and even the microphones, I'm thinking, AI as a whole is competing with good audio tools, right? Because I can use my phone and I can use these AI features with audio and get cleaner audio than I've heard people use out of a Sennheiser mic, honestly. You know what I mean? And I'm just using my phone. So I think there's a lot of tools out there that can make our process a lot easier. That's one of them for me, is that too. And also being able to cut your videos with AI. That's another big one for me. Is utilizing these tools to just make my editing process a lot easier. And then when you double down with the Galaxy AI on top of that, it just makes the process way faster. Something that may take me an hour, 2 hours to edit, nowadays is taking me less than an hour,
Especially these days where the content kind of just flying so fast, right? And you want to pump out content quick, right? Such as myself, I pump out content just about every single day, right? And all different pieces of content. So with the speeding up of the editing is very key. And with tools like Adobe and, other like tools like Resolve, right? They have added in AI tools itself. Samsung's not the only one doing this, right? Because the whole world is pretty much catching up on it. So, by able to use these tools, including with, of course, the Samsung's, every device has their own thing. Every tool has their own thing. And then once you're able to kind of put it together, it makes everything go way easier. So if content is something that, we need on time or to push out quick, AI definitely speeds it up.
So I'm going to ask a couple of questions in a minute, so get ready for that. But obviously AI has limitations today. I think when it comes to photos, we've all seen the hands and the kind of facial aspects be a bit funky. What do you think the next 3 years looks like?
Oh, much better. I mean, we're already seeing it now. The fingers are like, it's more looking like fingers now. You know what I mean? The face is looking more like faces. And then, especially with the recent, I think it was Sora? Sora? Like, have you seen Sora? Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. You type out a scene, and it looks like someone shot it. Like, so real. It's not perfect, but we're still in infancy. You know what I mean? Sora has been, I mean, you know, just that's just to show you how AI, that's just one company, right? But then now with like, you know, everything's only going to get better, you know?
Like Drex said, it's in the infant stages. AI is literally in the infant stages, and we're seeing what it can do for us now. So, you know, definitely coming from a tech background, me and Drex, we're both from a filmmaking and photography background. And, you know, like he said, it's not perfect, but just to see what it can do at this stage is mind-blowing. And it's really more of a projection of the future, right? So like Sora, it's a video generator. You just type in a prompt and it gives you the video. Whatever it is that you're looking for, say, you know, you want to have a cowboy on a unicorn on the moon, right? With a sunset, right? It'll generate that for you. And it looks like a real video clip almost. There's imperfections. You can see the imperfections. If you look close enough, you can tell with a lot of this AI, it's AI, right? But it's so good that it's hard to tell. In a few years, it's going to be almost impossible to tell. And that's why I do think it's going to be a lot of, just like even with the Galaxy AI, if you use a feature of an AI feature on the Galaxy AI in the corner, you'll see a Galaxy AI watermark, just letting you know that AI is being used, right? And I think in the future, that's what's going to have to happen.
With that being said, AI, like you said, is still in its infancy. And do you want to be with? It's like taking care of a baby. You want to be there for the baby when it's young and kind of like nurture. So when by the time the baby grows up, you're gonna be very, very close to it and very used to, or you're gonna catch on to it at its later stages where, you know, maybe it's a teenager or like an adult. They're like, I kind of know you. You know what I'm saying? But you want to know it from the beginning, you know. And this is now the time to catch on, right? Don't get left behind. So, you know, let's go.
Now is the time, like Drex said, now is the time. And I would encourage everybody, you know, after this, if you haven't played with AI at all, please do it. I know it can be a little intimidating for a lot of people. It was intimidating for me. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand prompts. I didn't understand a lot about AI until just, you know, a few months ago. But like I said, it's a part of my process literally every day. And I'm only using it more and more each day. And like I said before, if it's not a part of your process, you're going to get left behind, and you're really leaving a lot on the table for yourself. You're probably working 10 times harder than you need to, you know. Nowadays, as a content creator, you see a lot of content creators, they have teams, you know, they have full teams, you know, and I hate when people get discouraged by, they see, you know, how much content we put out. They see, you know, how much, they see our presence online. And, you know, a lot of people have to understand we have teams, we have people that help us. And if you don't have a team, if you don't have the resources to have a team, then the easiest way to streamline your process is to be utilizing AI. 100%.
That's true. I don't have a team. But yeah, like, and you got to remember, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, AI is taking away jobs. Right. You know what I mean? Well, don't let it be your job that AI is taking away. You know what I mean? Because AI is creating new jobs. And, you know, like I said, you got to hop on the flow. You got to get with it.
Are there any questions before I've got a couple more to ask, but any questions from the audience? So the question is Sora mostly a positive for the community?
I think it's I most definitely think it is. You know what I mean? It cannot definitely recreate what as true artists really want. But what I think it could be great for is like a storyboarding. You know what I mean? Like something you want to present to a client, or something you want to, like, you know, pretty much like this is kind of what I want to do, like that style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to double down on what Drake said, I think the same. It just helps the process. It's not going to take away. I don't think it'll take away a true job from a filmmaker, simply because I look at it like a stock video, right? You're not going to make a whole movie with stock videos.
You could.
You know, you probably could, but you'll probably be missing a bit of the emotion, the storyline. And that makes a big difference, especially with movies. It's like we have an emotional connection with movies and things that are like a story. storytellers. So that's something that I don't think AI can completely take away from us. And even if a whole movie was filmed with AI, right? At the end of the day, those ideas and that story is still coming from a human, a person, and you can't take that away from humans. AI can never take that away from us.
And actually, I'm actually using AI now to storyboard a script because like I can't draw. So I don't want to spend all that time. So, I just want to enter in my prompt and, speed is king right now. Speed is king. So for me to get this out to, the client, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to type it in, boom, boom, boom. It's going to take me like 10 minutes. If I were to draw it out myself, it'll be stick figures and, two circles as a car. You know what I mean? So that would not work out too great to even present to a client. So yes, it is a net positive for creators if you use it in the correct way. Just don't, like I said, don't let it think that it's going to become you, because it's not. Because you are still controlling it.
Well, I suppose that's an interesting thing from the brand side is how do you, when you're presenting work to brands, whether it's ideas or various concepts, what are the brand's reactions to you? Because, I mean, from a brand POV, arguably, could a brand do some of this themselves?
Well,
versus hiring Drex Lee.
No, a brand can never be Drex Lee. But no,
Drex Lee is the brand.
Drex Lee is the brand. But no, the thing is that like you have to create a style where you.
People build communities. AI doesn't build community. So that's one thing it can never take away from us. People like people. People like personable people. And people like to get in your world and see your life. And AI can never replace that. People buy into you. People buy into Drex. People like Drex. People want to see his content. They like him as a person. And
Hope they do.
yeah, and it's community is something that AI can't build for you, right? A brand can't take that away from you. And as a person, they're gonna always go to a person to reach people. AI is just making our process as creatives easier. That's how I look at it. It just makes our life easier. It can never replace us.
So I've got one last question, and this is selfishly probably more for the brands in the room. One of the as we look at creators and assess their fit for us as a brand, we look at performance of creators. We use tools to look at sentiment and comments and growth and engagement. Do you use any AI tools to look at your audience reactions to your content? What are they saying? What are they not saying? What are they requesting?
I'll be completely honest. I don't use any AI tools for that. I like to go into my comments every single day, going through every single comment. And even though thousands come in every single day, I go through it personally because I really want to see what my audience is saying. I reply back to as much as I can, even if that means 2, 3, 4, 500 comments a day. That's just so that they know that, I am really listening. I am seeing what they're saying. And I think that's why I have a really high engagement rate and also very invested community in, all of my content. So I even have comments that come in all the time that say, not really him replying to everyone. Of course it's me, but I just don't say much. I'm like, hands up, boom, or exclamation marks, But I mean, there's only so much you can say after 500 comments, You're just kind of saying the same thing afterwards, you know what I mean? Unless you leave a really dope comment, and then I'll reply back to something, really, really specific. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's key. That's key. That's very key to building a personal relationship. I do the same thing. I reply to everything, just about literally, whether it's a DM, a comment. I just try to engage with it and really interact with my audience. So I don't use AI for that so much either. I do think, like I said, trying to be personable and building a community is actually reaching out, talking to people, listening to what they have to say, commenting back, and actually engaging. And I think there's certain things in life that we just can't replace with AI because it takes away the human aspect of us in this world. So that's one thing with AI I just hope it never gets to, and I don't think it will, because at the end of the day, we're people.
It's coming.
Yeah, it could be coming, but
AI Mullah.
I think about it like this. Would you rather talk to an AI version of me or me? Right? Would you want to get on a phone call with an AI version of me or me? And I think most people would actually want to talk to the real person.
Such as they have AI versions of celebrities, right? Yeah. I mean, people talk to them. Don't get me wrong; it's probably pretty fun to talk to you, right? But to build on a personal level, you'll know that okay, this is like a hint of Drex, but this is not really him. But you got to keep that with a grain of salt, right? Like people that go talk to those are intentionally trying to talk to the AI version of you. So, but yes, it could never ever replace you. And that's one of the things that I was really scared about too, when they were like, hey, do you want an AI version of Drex? Because you have so many DMs and you can't respond back to all of them. And I'm like, yes, but no, because I need it to be the authentic me. You know what I mean? If I don't feel like talking to you, I'm not going to talk to you. That's it. You know what I mean? But, that's authenticity though. I'm not going to be fake about it. So, DMs are definitely on a whole nother level. Comments definitely apply back to. DMs it's tough. Too many.
Well, I'm glad we've got the real Mullah and the real Drex here with us.
Yes.